Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash for giving me a spirit to do this lesson. I want to give double honors to the Apostle of Great Mills for teaching the truth by using precepts upon precepts and line upon line. In this lesson I want to get into today is really about the slavery trade, or the Latinos, naming Negroes slaves, and being slaves in 1619. All right, and that's in the comparison to Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, and I thought I found this article to like prove a point that so-called Latinos, naming Negroes, are the children of Israel. All right, proven with the slavery history, proven with the and through the scriptures too. Right, so it says in wait, let me see here. It says the first Africans in Virginia landed in 1619. It was a turning point for slavery in Americans' history, but not the beginning. So it says what? It was 400 years ago, about the latter end of August, and the English privateer ship reached Point Comfort on the Virginia Peninsula. There, Governor George Yardley and his head of trade, Cape merchant Abraham Piercy, brought the 20 and the old Negroes abroad in exchange for victuals, meaning they trade food for slaves. All right, and this was the time of the beginning of Tennessee slavery, when they started trading Latinos, naming Negroes around the world. All right, with the French, with Americans, with in other nations. All right, and that's pursuant to Deuteronomy chapter 28. That's a curse that the children of Israel will go through if they did not obey the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. And this lesson is going to be literally quick and edifying, going to the history of this slave trade and how it connects to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28, let's go to verse 68, right? The last verse. And the Lord shall bring thee into and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Did not the slaves and Latinos and Negroes was sold into other nations with ships? All right, and that was called what? The Atlantic slave trade. Let me search it up. Atlantic slave trade. Yeah, the Atlantic slave trade. Now show up in the image right here. That's what the Latinos and Negroes went through, the slave trade. All right, no other nations went through that specific curse, because Scripture says that the only children of Israel will be going through this. All right, it says in Deuteronomy chapter 46, if you go all the way up to verse 46, and it says, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever." So all these curses that the Most High have written, if you have not obeyed the Lord or Lord Yahweh Shemashai, then you had went through these curses. And the children of Israel are the only people that went through these curses. The Latinos, and Negroes, they're the only one that went through these curses. All right, and I thought there's other curses that would stand out even more. All right, so let me get another scripture. If you go to, let's go to verse 37. Right, it says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment of proverbs and of bywords among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." All right, so when all the slaves went to each and every different nations, did they not call them bywords? Did they not call them niggas? Okay, monkeys, worthless. All right, did they not call the Indians just a random tribe that speaks weird language? All right, did they not call the Latinos worthless, Negroes monkeys? That is called all bywords. All right, that's a first example. Second example, verse 41. It says, "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." Did not Latinos and Negroes, when they was in slavery, as soon as they beget a child, that child went straight to slavery or was killed immediately? Okay, that happened in slavery, and I'll show it up right here in the image of that happening. All right, another scripture to prove that point is verse 44, right? It says, And he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that is considered today because Esau Edom, our enemy, is ahead of us. All right, and every time we need something, what do we have to do? We have to go up to him. Just like today in this country, this is our captivity, America. What do we do? Every time we need something, we the so-called Latinos and Negroes start calling upon the government, Esau Edom, to help them. Because they was the head, we was the tail. They was first, we was last. That was the curse. Another scripture. And it says verse 46. Yeah, verse 48. I said 46, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemy, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in the hunger and the thirst and the nakedness and want all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And that's what he have done to the Latinos and Negroes. As soon as they went into slavery, they have put a yoke in iron. What does that look like? I'll show you image 2. And that's all what happened in what? In 1619, when slavery started. Well, when the Atlantic slave trade started to begin. All right, but Lord was edified by this lesson. This lesson was short, so